Today, I make this video out of concern for the Swiss watchmaking industry. I am almost certain that a crisis similar to the quartz crisis is coming. Now, if you don't know about the quartz crisis, let me summarize it quickly. In 1969, the Japanese had the amazing idea to create the battery-powered watch, which was more accurate, cheaper, and required much less care and maintenance than any mechanical watch. Now, this practically destroyed about 60 to 70% of all the watch brands that existed at that time. And from there, the focus of Swiss watchmakers had to change. They stopped selling tools and objects designed to tell the time and started selling luxury, exclusivity, and investment. One of the things that adds great value to Swiss watchmaking is its complications and finishing. However, today, holding these watches that I'm going to show you leaves me with a question and more than anything, a concern. What will happen to Swiss watchmaking after this? Japanese watches have long since become affordable, reliable, and well-built timepieces, while the Swiss have kept luxury, complications, and high-end finishes. As I mentioned some time ago in a review of a tourbillon, something doesn't really add up. The Swiss have always taken pride in their roots and craftsmen, especially in how difficult it is to create certain complications like perpetual calendars, minute repeaters, or tourbillon. But the Chinese are already matching all of those complications at prices that are 100 times lower. I mean, the issue before was that Chinese movements were unreliable. Chinese tourbillons and chronographs would stop working, but now they have focused on improving quality and using reliable movements, like Miura Series 9000, and transformed them into various works of art, like all these watches I'm showing you. In the past, such designs and creativity were reserved for watches costing hundreds of thousands of dollars. However, someone thought, why continue using the same classic watch formula when we could draw inspiration from watches that cost millions and recreate them at a ridiculous fraction of the price? For example, this one called the Kerberos, which certainly takes inspiration from an Uhrwerk design. And while they are very similar in design, and I'm not thrilled about that, the fact that a complication of this caliber can be created based on a reliable automatic movement combined with a titanium case and a solid construction really makes you think. It makes you question what remains for the Swiss watch industry if the Chinese are already capable of recreating the most famous and complex complications at a fraction of the price. Is it only luxury? Is it just the name? I believe that is no longer enough. Not to mention the ridiculous price increases that the Swiss watch industry has experienced lately, where prices increase by 20 or 30% a year without any differentiation or improvements. I can anticipate that we are going to face a crisis similar to what happened in the 70s, when the Swiss were unresponsive and suddenly they started getting hit from everywhere. It is evident that it is such a big and lucrative business that it's hard to believe it will disappear. I don't think it will. But I think these kinds of pieces make us reflect on what we are truly paying for. I mean, surely someone will wonder, why spend $20,000 on a Rolex when I can buy a tourbillon for $1,500? If you ask me, this is something we need to reflect on, because I believe it's time for the Swiss industry to consider whether they are genuinely delivering the value we are paying for. But tell me, what do you think?